And we are underway from NRG Stadium in Houston. And he won't quite make it to the 25. So out come the Texans for their opening drive. And led out by their veteran quarterback. He's been around a while. They don't celebrate birthdays for him. They just cut him up, see how many rings he's got around the middle. He has been in the league a long time.
Every time he leads his team out, there's no questioning. He's put the work in to earn his place in the NFL. There's no shortage of stories we've heard throughout his career about the effort he puts in to be in this spot. And that motivates everybody on his team.
Now Schaub. The catch made by DeAndre Hopkins. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. 16 yards on the game's first play and a quick first down.
That's a good start to the ball game. Maybe a little bit of a tone setter offensively. They come out throwing right away, and it's an early completion and a quick first down.
Here's Schaub. And on the left side, Fedorowicz has it. It'll be a gain of just a yard, and it'll be second down.
He's a rookie, and you don't want to get hung up on the word potential. But when you see him make catches like that, you keep thinking to yourself, he's good now. He's got a chance to be great with plenty of work.
From the 42-yard line, here's the 2nd and 9. He'll look to throw. Johnson's got it complete. And they'll get this down to around the 47-yard line. A pickup of 11 and a Texans first down.
But one of the ways the quarterbacks keep all the receivers alive in a play, never lock in on any one guy. Make sure you keep your eyes moving, scan the field. And here he finds the open guy for a nice pickup.
They'll stick with the passing game as he looks to throw. And he's got this down to the 35. Back-to-back nice plays, 12 yards that time and a first down. Really a solid start here on the opening drive, Charles. He's now 4 of 4, and they're already in plus territory.
Brandon, he's been so precise to start this game, like we're watching an operation taking place right now. Master surgeon at work.
They'll look to throw again. Here's Johnson with a reception. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. Another nice gain. That's now 30 yards between those last two plays. Yeah, he's already got 2 catches on the opening drive. They know he's going to be a handful.
And sometimes you game plan for that offensively. You want to make sure that guy touches the ball, and sometimes it just happens naturally. And then you change your game plan. When he has the hot hand, you keep going back to him because he's running routes with confidence as the game goes on.
Again, he'll drop to throw. And that incompletion breaks a string of 5 straight connections. And it's second down.
I think he's got to be careful not to force anything into coverage right there. There weren't really any throwing lanes. But the best part for him, he's got 2nd and 3rd down to fall back on.
After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. Back to throw again. Pass incomplete, but the flag in the backfield, and this might be a roughing call. Well, Charles, sometimes we talk about the lengths officials sometimes go to protect star quarterbacks, but that one, that was tough to argue against.
Yeah, and I'm sure that everyone's going to say, hey, we're going to administer the penalty the same way for all quarterbacks. But when it's a star back there, even more so are they going to be diligent about throwing the flag.
He pushes forward for maybe 3 down to the 6-yard line.
Here's where we need to see some tenacity from this defense because they've been pushed right down the field on this opening drive. They've got to find some way to push back, and that's a good first step.
The 6-yard line, the line of scrimmage on 2nd and goal. They'll try again down here with Foster. And he gets him a little bit closer. He takes it from the 6 inside the 5 to the 4. Driven it down the field nicely here on the opening drive, but now it's put up or shut up.
No doubt about it, because to make that type of a drive and ultimately kick a field goal would feel very disappointing. But I'm just wondering, is the head coach thinking, is this 4-down territory? Might he go for it?
They'll look to throw on 3rd and goal. That is caught. Hopkins for the Texans touchdown. 4 yards on the touchdown ground. And the Texans are on the board first here this afternoon. They got to love that. 9-play drive results in 6 points.
That means they're doing the dictating. That means that they've described how the game's going to go. They're playing at their tempo, at their pace. If you're on the other side of the ball, if you're playing defense, defense is not methodical. They've got to go in there and shake things up and create a little havoc.
Extra point right down the middle. And it's now a 7-0 game. Brown now to kick it away after the touchdown. And here comes a return from just beyond the goal line. And only able to get this to the 19, so probably should have opted for the touchback. So here are the Browns under head coach Kevin Stefanski. And they will be led out by a guy certainly still trying to prove himself here in the league, the young rookie quarterback.
I tell you what, when he is on schedule for that week, secondaries take notice because you've got to stay alert back there on every snap. A truly powerful arm, one that's capable of challenging any level of the defense on any given play. That's why so many scouts preach arm talent when preparing for the NFL draft. A quarterback with arm strength to make every throw in the book, he's an asset to have in any offense.
Throwing now, Graham on 1st down. This short pass into the hands of Njoku. So give him 5 yards there on the pitch and catch, and that'll bring up 2nd down.
Brandon, to me, what's important right here on this drive is for them to get at least 2 first downs. They've got to give their defense a chance to settle down, catch their breath a little bit after they give up a touchdown on the opening drive.
Now 2nd and 5. They run up the gut with Kelly, and he's going to have a Browns 1st down as he's able to take this up to the 30-yard line.
That's a good, nice, crisp run for a 1st down. I wonder if the defense might have been loosened up a little bit, maybe anticipating a pass instead of the run that they got.
So 1st and 10 now from the 30. Now it's Graham. And it's incomplete. Boy, he doesn't drop many like that one. 2nd down.
No surprise at all. They're looking for the big man early in this one. The only surprise for them, he couldn't hang on to the pass.
An incomplete pass on 1st down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. They'll run for the first time here with Brown. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. That's going to go down as a loss of 5, and it brings up 3rd down.
Sometimes you just sit back and marvel at what he can do defensively. Speed, strength, quickness, he's the whole package. And that package just wrapped up the runner for a loss.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. Setting up the screen to Kelly. And this play comes to a halt at the 33, and obviously that's well short of the 1st down. They do get 7 out of that, but not enough to prevent a 4th down.
And that's a play that's not uncommon on 3rd and long because the offense is just hoping that somehow they can get a guy in space and follow some blockers downfield. Does a pretty nice job there getting a few yards, but he ends up getting stopped before he can get the 1st down.
On 4th down, the punt team is on as this is sent away. On the return is Jones. Call it a 48-yard punt. Give him 9, though, on the return. And the Texans will take over with a 1st and 10. So now we get set to see Houston for their 2nd drive of the ball game. They've got the 7-0 lead. Now they've got the football back after their defense got the stop, CD. And you get the feeling if they could score here, they'd really have all the momentum on their side.
And you just wonder right now, is the quarterback and the play caller totally in sync? Are they of one mind that, hey, what worked last time, let's keep doing it until they stop us? Or do they go to a different section in the playbook, show them something different? Either way, they want a repeat of their 1st drive.
The lane opens up that time as he'll be brought down just short of a 1st after a gain of about 9. You often say that sort of opens the playbook now, second and short. What do you think, early shot here?
I like where you're going. Obviously, we've been together for a while because you know me. I want to take that shot early and loosen things up.
From the 36, Schaub. Finding Johnson on the out route. That's complete. And he'll take this to the other side of midfield before going out of bounds. A busy first quarter. His third catch of the afternoon is a first down.
Someone sharp in this game. I mean, a touchdown pass in the first drive and comes right back, and he's flinging it around really well here.
Really nice throw there to pick up the first down. You kind of just feel a laser focus and confidence about him, and I think we saw that this week, didn't we? Talking to him and the coaches, they felt good about his performance coming up.
Yeah, I was really impressed with that last one.
And the Browns pressure gets to him that time, and he's going to go down. Multiple players combined for their team's first sack of the game.
Okay, I'm not sure you could actually draw a better pass rush than that one right there. Nowhere to go outside. He had to keep backing up and backing up and backing up. Eventually dropped for a huge loss.
So after the sack, a scenario you certainly don't work on too often. 2nd and 24. A give left side, Foster. And this will be stopped at the 44. That one good for 7 yards.
This drive is turning into an extended one, and the guy carrying the ball, he's becoming more like a body blows guy. Every carry is putting some damage on the defense. So after a while, I'm not too sure how many guys are going to want to run up and tackle him.
He'll drop to throw. He finds Hopkins complete. It'll go as a gain of 4, and that's going to make it 4th down.
Well, we hear so often how tackling has become almost a lost art in the NFL game, but it's so important to tackle well on these receivers, especially in a play like this one. 3rd down, they gave him the underneath stuff. You got to go up and make the tackle right away.
The Texans send the punter out as he's on a punt for the first time this afternoon. And now where will the side judge stop his walk? That's the question. He says it crossed out of bounds at about the 17-yard line. Second drive coming up here for Cleveland as they return to the field on offense. Over on the sideline, hoping to hit that reset button between possessions. Last time out, they had to punt it away. This time hoping to finish this thing off in the end zone. Now Graham on first down. This short pass into the hands of Njoku. Just a gain of a couple there. And it'll be 2nd down. I know when you got a top tight end like this, you want to get him involved, but when you do, you're hoping for more than that.
You certainly are. You got to try and get him some space where he can make a play downfield, or at least an opportunity for some rack yardage, right? That run after catch.
A give up the middle to Kelly. He'll be dropped at the 25 after a gain of 6.
A quick burst there, and he nicely bit off a pretty decent gain.
The Texans here on 3rd down, putting an extra defender in the secondary. Now Graham to throw. And that is incomplete. Oh, he had a defender right there with him to force that to the ground. And 4th down now coming up.
That's what you're going to need to do against those big receivers. You got to get in there and get physical with them. That time he got in close, got in tight, and knocked the ball away.
The Browns send out their punter now as he'll punt it away for the 2nd time. It'll be a 51-yard punt that time.
And the Texans will take over. The football going back over now to the Houston Texans.
They've got a 7-0 lead in the football as well as they start out 1st and 10. They'll try and start this drive in the air. He finds his man Johnson. And he gets this up to the 34 out of bounds there.
It's a game of matchups, and that's why you take your receivers and move them around a bunch, especially your best guys. And when they work out of the slot, you often hear the coaches talk about how great it is because it gives you a two-way go. You can break out or you can break in. That makes it hard to defend.
Foster on second down. And he'll be brought down shy of the 40 at the 38-yard line. 4 yards the pickup, first down.
Well, they came into this game saying it was important that they set the tone and show that they can run the football. I believe that they've done that here in the first quarter.
So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. He'll look to throw. He gets this out to Foster on the right side. So just 3 yards on the completion there. And that will bring up second down.
That's a good job there by the corner. We do talk about this a lot, that a lot of corners see their job as simply covering receivers. Tackling isn't everyone's thing. But in this case, he came up quickly and made a nice, sure tackle.
From the 41, Shaw. Open man, here's Foster. They'll give him 4 yards there, and this will wind up being a 3rd and 3.
The defense was ready for the back to leak out and even had a second player waiting to double him up. If you're going to commit to doubling a back, you better prevent a completion, but give him credit. Extra determination, extra effort, turn it into a successful play.
They'll try and run for it with Foster. And he'll be tackled about 2 yards shy of the line to gain. A 1-yard pickup leads to 4th down.
You know, we might start getting some props here in the booth. You know, that one that says the D and then the fence that you put up next to it. How about that? They brought out the jumbo package and still couldn't move them off the line of scrimmage enough to pick up that first down.
Impressive. They were ready defensively for that jumbo set. The Texans send the punter out as he'll kick it away for the 2nd time. And the kick's away as he angles this one for the sideline. And this is going to be ruled out, I think, just inside the 20. Yes, it will. Side judge calls it at the 19-yard line. And the Browns getting set to go. They've shown precious little here offensively thus far as they try again with a 1st down now. And they'll begin here with a run by Brown. And not a whole lot of room to operate there on the 1st down run. He gets maybe 3.
Not a huge carry there on 1st down, but not all of them will be. But still, all in all, a positive play for the offense. It's all about picking up at least a few to set up what you're going to do here on 2nd down.
After one, 7-0 on EA Sports. The start of the 2nd quarter, and it's the Browns in control of the football. 2nd and 7 as they've got it as we resume action. Graham will throw. That's complete. It's Collins. And up to the 35 before they're able to knock him down. First catch for him. It's good for a dozen and a 1st down.
And that's a more than acceptable read right there because it's zone coverage, so timing is everything. This time he waits for his man to come open, puts it right on him, and they pick up a 1st down.
They'll throw on 1st down with Graham. And it's incomplete. Boy, he doesn't drop many like that one. 2nd down.
He is just not at his focus in this game. It's not 1 drop. It's not 2. That's 3 for this contest.
Yeah, uncharacteristic for any NFL receiver, and he's no exception. Here's 2nd and 10 now from the 35. Here's Graham to throw it. And this throw incomplete. And the defender all over him that time, and it's going to lead to 3rd down.
He did a fine job there of not hitting him before the ball arrived, and I've got to tell you, you can often mistime that play because of the angles of approach. When you're going to get him, sometimes you panic as well and think, I've got to be there right now. Instead, in this case, timed it perfectly and knocked it free.
Now yet another incompletion here as they fail to connect on third.
Well, based on what we've seen so far, I don't think you can even call this an off day anymore, partner, because this group we're watching, they are totally out of rhythm, trying to get their game plan up and running. That zero on the scoreboard is glaring down at them with every incompletion.
The Browns send out their punter now as he's on to kick it away. He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. Here's Jones on the return. It'll be a 41-yard punt. Give him 5 on the return.
And it will be 1st and 10 as they take over.
And now out comes Houston.
No points last time out. They were forced to punt, if you remember, but no time to dwell on that. They've still got the lead here and a chance to add to that here. 1st and 10 as this new drive starts.
Now Schaub. It's complete to Fuller. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. 15 yards there for number 15.
So many times in my career I've heard coaches talk about completions are one thing. But as long as we're there at the catch and we get guys on the ground, we can live with that. But if you're going to give up 10, 12, 15 yards after the catch, then your defense is going to be in a lot of trouble.
One play has him up past the 40 already, and another 1st and 10. Here's Schaub. Got a man complete. It's Fuller again. And the result here, a pickup of 8. Leaves him with 2 to go on 2nd down.
Two yards to go, 2nd down.
Going up the middle, Foster. And he'll get it down to the 47 here. 4 yards the pickup, 1st down.
But they really needed to get something going, didn't they? They had punted on the last 2 possessions. The running game starting to come to the front for them, providing a nice pickup there to keep this drive going.
So a 1st and 10 upcoming from Browns territory now at the 47. They keep it in the hands of Foster. And a 5-yard gain gets him to the 42.
If you're a coach, you'll absolutely take that run every time on 1st down because it really sets you up to go in a number of directions here on 2nd.
Here's a 2nd and 5.
They run up the middle with Foster. Still a couple yards short of the 1st as the 3-yard gain brings up a 3rd down.
I do know from experience that when you slow down someone's running game, you're now doing the dictating on defense. And guess what? Now you're getting ready to tee off on their quarterback because they have to throw it all the time. But you still have to be alert for the draws and other plays of that nature to make sure you don't get hurt.
On 3rd down, Foster. And he'll be taken down, but he does have 1st down yardage. Able to get what they need to keep the drive going with a 6-yard pickup on 3rd down.
Well, partner, what do you think? Might have been 4-down territory if they didn't pick it up, but...
Yeah, it's a moot point now. I was curious, so if they didn't get it there, would they have gone for it? I guess we'll never know.
Yeah, we didn't have to make that call, but I have a feeling both of us would have said, go for it.
A 1st down carry for Foster. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9.
Typically, we think it's the strong safeties that are better tacklers, especially closer to the line of scrimmage amidst traffic. But in this case, how about the free safety coming up and making the big-time play?
Now 2nd and 9.
Now they'll switch it up here and look to throw. Throwing the out route incomplete. That's Hopkins. And down to the 20 he'll go before heading out of bounds. 11 more yards there. This methodical drive continues. And defensively, they were in zone coverage there. Do you have to be a little careful? You're losing playing against a good quarterback like he is to not play too much zone?
Yeah, you have to be careful about how much time you're giving up. I think it's a good point you just brought up. So maybe if you still want to play zone, you go to a zone blitz scheme. And you can drop anyone out of your defensive front, defensive end, defensive tackle. It doesn't matter. You just exchange someone to bring more pressure towards the quarterback and still try and cover downfield.
Just picking up yardage in bunches here these last few plays. They have moved right down the field, and just like that, they can be set up with a 1st and goal.
He'll look to throw. To the goal line, but it's incomplete.
I see the surprise in your face there, partner. That is a rare incompletion from him. He's been on point this entire game.
He has percentage completion-wise way up, not that time. They'll go again from the 3 here on 2nd and goal. They'll try and punch it in with Foster. Able to get a couple here, but won't get across the plane as they stop him right around the 1. So now things get interesting on 3rd and goal from the 1.
This almost becomes a Darwinian call, doesn't it? Almost survival of the fittest here. I know we can go all cliche. I'll go ahead and do it. Who wants it more here? Who has a better leverage at the line of scrimmage?
And he gets into the end zone. Touchdown, Houston. Taking it in from a yard out.
And the Texans have taken a 2-touchdown lead now. So the 2nd down run didn't work. They run it again on 3rd down and get in. I wasn't sure if they might pass it, Charles. We know that they like to mix it up down here around the goal line.
Yeah, almost felt like the offensive line said, forget mixing it up. Let's call our favorite running play over our best blockers, and let's get this one in.
Point after, right down the middle. And it's now 14-0. So that drive, 12 plays in length. And it ends with a 1-yard touchdown run. Brown now to kick it away after the touchdown.
From a yard or 2 deep, here comes a return. And no chance to get away as they'll get him down at about the 17-yard line. The Browns set to take over. And they're in a bind early here, down 14-0. Are you worried at this stage or still too early?
You're worried. You're just trying not to transmit it to the rest of your team. You want to make sure that they stay positive. But at the same time, you're wondering, how are we going to move the football? What do we have on this play sheet that can work? Get back to basics is usually your answer. And make sure you find the guy who can move the ball fastest for you if you just get it in his hands.
Still 2nd quarter. You get points on the board here. I think you're feeling okay.
First play of the drive going for 14 and a 1st down.
I'm okay with the call there. In fact, I actually like it. I know they're down a couple of scores, but the running game worked in that situation. I would continue to go in that direction.
Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10. And now we've got flags down. Looked like one of the Browns might have moved.
That flag accepted, and it backs the offense up a little bit.
A false start backs him up 5, 1st and 15. Now Graham. Under pressure, and the Texans able to get in there for the sack. The sack recorded. It's a loss of 5, and now it's 2nd down.
Well, you're already up a couple of scores here in the first half defensively, and Charles, they just seem to be playing really free on that side of the football.
I love the observation because with that type of a lead, they feel like they can take a few more chances and be even more aggressive, and it's been paying off for them so far this game.
No one there to help out downfield, but no problem. Scrambling for 22 and a 1st.
I met a quarterback yet that didn't enter the league with a massive chip on his shoulder if he wasn't a 1st-round pick. They want to show the league that they made a big mistake. Determined to get the 1st down there, no hesitation at all to tuck it and go. I bet he would have tried running through their entire defense if it meant reaching that marker.
This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. They'll hand it off to Kelly. And he goes across midfield and down into Houston territory. Give him 9 on the carry that time, and they're set up with a 2nd and 1.
That play wasn't quite as big as the play that preceded it, but still, gotta like the way they're moving the football, partner.
Absolutely. Pretty good room to run on that last play.
Yeah, they didn't get a first down, but still, you'll take runs like that each and every time, won't you?
This short pass into the hands of Njoku. 2 yards on the pickup, and that's all they needed to move the sticks.
They got a completion there. That's clearly an example of one side happy, the other side not very happy. Defense, very, hey, take 1 or 2 yards. We're good with that. Offense, you got to expect to get more on the passing play.
A give. This is Kelly. And he's going to take this ahead for right around 3 yards, but no more than that. 2nd down.
Well, that's just a pile of bodies there, and that's when you kind of find out who's a tough guy, right? Who can stand up and make a play. It was only a 3-yard run, but for both sides, they had to walk away from that feeling like, okay, I can stand up when the going gets tough in here.
Graham going to set up to throw. Under pressure, and down he goes. They get to him for a loss of 4, and it brings up 3rd down on the sand.
Well, if the goal is to get back into this game, the offense is certainly moving in the wrong direction. This is certainly a case where one team needs big splash plays right now, but unfortunately, it's the other team that's getting them.
3rd down from the gun, Graham. He throws it on the move, but can't connect as that falls incomplete.
Well, how about the coverage we just saw him break out on 3rd down? Dime defense, blanketed the field with extra defensive backs and speed, unable to find an open hole to complete that pass.
The Browns send out their punter now, as he'll punt it away for the 4th time today. He's averaging just under 50 yards a punt as he gets this away. And this will be up to the ruling of the side judge here. He says it crossed out of bounds at the 16-yard line. Getting set to go again as we look at the back, heading onto the field again. He's over 40 yards here in the 2nd quarter. Been nice and effective for them, hasn't he?
He has definitely been dependable, and really shouldn't underestimate what he's getting done here, because anytime you're on a pace that's going to approach 100 yards, you've really done some damage in an NFL game.
And now he's looking just to add to his totals. They'll start this drive out on the ground. 5 yards on the carry. Good pickup on 1st down.
I think we all suspected that they were going back to him after he found the end zone on his last carry, and they kept the positive momentum going there. Another nice run by him.
2nd and 5.
The play action fake. They'll look to throw. Here's Johnson with a reception. And he'll get this one way up just shy of the 45-yard line. 75 yards receiving for him now. It's a 1st down. And a good quarterback facing zone coverage. If he has just a little bit of time to survey the scene, that's what's going to happen.
No doubt about it. If there's no pressure, he's going to continue to pick them apart, because he'll have all that time to find someone open downfield. You can only cover for so long. So maybe they want to go to a zone blitz scheme, get a little bit more pressure. Remember when Carolina did that against Denver? They lost the game ultimately. They dropped the defensive end out, and he ended up with an interception in that game in Super Bowl 50. Maybe some sort of scheme like that to try and get more pressure at the passer.
2nd and 6.
2nd quarter action with 1:59 remaining.
Now a 2nd and 6.
Back to throw here. And that's complete. It's the tight end Daniels. And he's out of bounds as he gets this down to the 45. 7 yards there and a 1st down.
Many different ways to create space, but on that play, he did it with that big, wide body of his. Didn't get a whole lot of yardage on the play, but it did what it was supposed to. Pick up a 1st down.
They'll look to throw now on 1st down. Throw right side, complete to Williams. And that play will go nowhere. Losing yardage back near midfield at the 49. Not what they had in mind there. That's going to go as a loss of 4.
If you're a selfish player and you're throwing the ball, you're cool with the completion. Maybe not so cool with the yardage loss, though, huh?
Yeah, you went backwards on the yardage. Hey, it kind of works like a sack for the defense there.
Yeah, it's a really big play for them, right? Able to figure it out, sniff it out, and finish it off.
They're unable to connect, but a late flag comes in. And the contact may have come too early. So the contact came before the ball got there, and the flag is thrown.
Timing is everything, isn't it? And it's so hard to cover these great receivers. They have such great body control, and they can fake you out. In this case, as you described, got there before the ball got to the receiver. Penalty flag had to come out.
Out of the gun, they hand to Foster.
And he works his way free all the way down to the outskirts of the red zone. 70 yards rushing for him as he has been tough to stop here in this first half.
I'm not sure how much more evidence they need, partner, than to understand that if they don't start to slow him down, it's going to be a long afternoon here at the stadium because he is just shredding them at this point. And let's face it, coming into the game, they knew he would be the focal point of their attack. This is going to take an 11-man unit on the defensive side to start making plays.
Here's first and goal, and gosh, points here, a chance maybe to put this thing away before halftime. First and goal, Foster, and he's in. Touchdown, Houston. A great effort there with his second touchdown here in this first half. And the Texans will extend their lead in the final minute of the half.
Everybody in the stadium knew what they were going to do right there, CD. 3 tight ends on the field, all that extra bulk, and they run it in.
And you saw where that one went, right? You run it over your best blocker. I can just see the head coach right now. I want to run this one over the big boy. And they got it done.
Extra point splits the uprights, and that makes the score 21-0. Brown now to kick it away after the touchdown.
And he's up across the 25 and down at the 28. The Browns now going to take over late in this first half. I don't think they need to be reminded of the situation here. I mean, the clock is dwindling. 3-score deficit waiting for them at halftime unless they can get something on the board here before intermission.
Just over 30 seconds to go in the half. They've got it first and 10. Now it's Graham. This short pass into the hands of Njoku. Now the Browns will use the first of their 3 timeouts as they'll stop it with 27 seconds remaining here in the second quarter. On second down, Graham. That's caught by Kelly. Now the Browns signal for the second of their timeouts. So that means they're down to 1 remaining here as we head toward halftime. These guys have punted 4 times already, and they're staring at a 5th, barring a conversion here on 3rd down. Play action. It's Graham. He's got his target. That's complete. The Browns will quickly use their 3rd and final timeout as the clock will stop with 20 seconds to go in the first half.
First down. Here's Graham. That's to the sideline and incomplete.
With a rookie quarterback out there, you're definitely going to find out how he handles adversity, because this one so far hasn't gone according to plan. He's got to fight through it and show him what he's made of.
Now a 2nd and 10. Now Graham to throw. And incomplete on the deep ball.
An attempt at a deep ball there. They didn't get it. But, boy, they're going to need a few of those to actually hit in order to get back into this game.
Good thing they do have a little bit of time here still left in the contest. Decent-sized deficit, but not one that they can't manage. So back-to-back incompletions, and that has them staring at a 3rd and 10. Again, it's Graham. He's going to take a shot at the end zone. Why not? And this is caught. Touchdown, Cleveland. A big play there in the final seconds of the first half. And the Browns are on the board here in the final seconds of the first half. He put quite a bit of air underneath that touchdown pass. Of course, we knew that he had the strong arm.
That part was easy. You could see that throughout his college career. But what you want to know about a rookie is when the pressure's on, can you throw with touch? He just did right there. And, boy, it was pretty.
Extra point right down the middle. And they'll cut the lead to 21-7. So the drive there took 6 plays. And it ends with a touchdown for Cleveland. So barring a touchback, this likely the final act of the half as the kick is away. So we have come to halftime in what's already a 2-touchdown game. As we'll get you over to Orlando, where standing by is Jonathan Coachman. He has our EA Sports halftime report.
Okay, Brandon, thanks very much. Back to you guys in a bit. But first, we welcome everyone to our EA Sports halftime report.
Okay, Coach, thanks as always to you and the gang in Orlando as we welcome everyone back in for quarter number 3. The Browns going to see the football first, but they trail here as we resume play on EA Sports. This taken in at the goal line. And he will make it back to the 15, and that's it. Good coverage there by the kick team. The Browns offense set to go to work to begin this 3rd quarter. And they're on the short end of the scoreboard here. Charles, what adjustments, if any, do you think they need to make for the second half?
Well, paraphrasing the gold medal hockey winning coach Herb Brooks, I just say you continue to play your game. Throw the ball. They had success doing it in the first half, so make sure you keep getting the ball to your playmakers, a little bit more to the perimeter perhaps, but above all, play your game.
And from the 15, they're able to work this up to the 20 for a pickup of a handful.
Well, it's time for them to be good teammates right here, and what I mean by that is possess the ball for a little while. Get at least 2 first downs. Give their defense a chance to settle down a little bit after they give up a touchdown.
From the 20, here's 2nd down and 5. This is Brown going up the middle. And he'll get only a couple up to the 22.
Well, they still have time to get him established, but in my estimation, they've got to pick up the urgency here. They've got to get quickly in and out of the huddle and run off a bunch more plays.
These guys have punted 4 times already, and they're staring at a 5th, barring a conversion here on 3rd down. From the gun, it's Graham. That is caught. And he is going to have a Browns first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion. If you're going to blitz, likely going to leave you in man coverage with this guy, and that is less than ideal.
It is, because just about any offense that has an elite receiver, if you blitz and have him in man coverage, you're going to him, even if he has an elite defender on him, because he usually knows where the ball is before the defender does.
And now we've got flags down. Looked like one of the Browns might have moved.
So they accept the penalty, of course, and push the offense backwards a bit.
The false start backs him up 5, 1st and 15. Looking to throw. Graham. Another one caught by Collins. Call it a gain of 12, but of course not a first down due to the previous penalty.
Parity sold the go route really well. Thought he was going deep, then curled it back inside for a nice completion.
DBs love when they pump the brakes, don't they?
Yeah, that's really a whole lot of fun. It's almost like you said, listen, if you're going to sell the go, just go, and let's see who's faster.
Now Graham looking to throw on 2nd down. Into double coverage, and it's intercepted. And to the 43, so down inside the 45 to the 43-yard line. That's where they'll take over.
As they started that drive, I think they looked at the scoreboard and said, this is a manageable deficit, guys, but let's go ahead and start cutting it down right here. Instead, an interception happened, so a 2-possession game might become 3. So as we get going here in the second half, this could rapidly reach the point where there isn't enough time left for a comeback if their defense doesn't bail them out.
Here's the Texans offense now, readying for their first possession of the second half.
And their defense just helped them out by getting the football back on the opening drive here in the second half. And now can the offense follow through with points on their first possession?
And that's a big one for them, because after the work the defense has done, they've got a chance here to open up this lead.
They'll come out throwing here on 1st down. Here's Fuller with a catch. And he's going to get this inside the 30. Give him 17 on the pickup there, and the Texans also get a new set of downs.
I'll tell you what, a lot of those mid-range throws have been available, because sometimes teams get too concerned about the deep ball and they leave too much space in front of them, and these guys have been taking advantage so far.
Now on 1st down, he'll drop to throw it. That's going to be knocked away and incomplete.
Quick hands that time to knock that one away. It sure looked like a short touchdown, but able to get a good break on the football and force the incompletion.
Here's 2nd and 10.
He'll look to throw. His throw incomplete.
Give them credit for excellent coverage, tight coverage. They're doing a lot of things that we talk about in basketball. They're causing disruptions in the passing game. And as long as that continues, it'll be tough for them to gain any momentum throwing the ball downfield.
Now they face a 3rd and 10 after back-to-back incompletions. Now Schaub. And incomplete. He had nowhere to throw, so he just tossed it away. But that brings up 4th.
Smart move to throw that one away. You're in field goal range, so you definitely don't want to be loose with the ball. And that's great work by this defense to force a 4th down.
Now the Texans are going to call on the field goal unit. From the left hash mark, this a 43-yard attempt. And his kick is indeed good. And they will open things up a bit more. It's 24-7.
Whatever was said in the locker room during the break must have worked. They forced the turnover. They didn't get the touchdown, Charles, but it does translate into 3 points to begin this second half.
Exactly as they discussed in the locker room at halftime. Get some points to get things kick-started. Now start your half off with some momentum. Gives you something to build on for your next possession.
Now Brown, after the made field goal, gets set for the kickoff. From a couple yards deep, he'll bring it out of the end zone. And he's probably realizing he should have stayed in the end zone as he can only muster a return to the 14-yard line.
In this position, trying to get back into the game, teams are looking for a spark from their special teams. That's not what they got, though. They got a setback, and they have a long field to cover if they want to try and put points on the board.
Throwing now, Graham on first down. A quick throw there is incomplete.
Let's face it, if you want to get back into the game, these are the kind of throws you got to hit. He's wide open right there. Got to be able to get it to him, don't you think?
And those are the throws that haven't been available to them every time he's dropped a pass. Yeah, that's a big miss. 2nd and 10. Graham here from the shotgun. That's complete. It's Collins. And he's got this almost to the 40 before going out. That one covers 24 yards. It's a first down.
Well, we talk all the time about playing situational football, and right now I think the scoreboard is dictating what they need to do. Where they are in this game, they've got to push the ball downfield, take their shots, try and get big chunks of yardage in a short amount of time. That was a nice play there.
And able to get this one all the way up to about the 46-yard line. It's a 7-yard carry to set them up with a 2nd and 3.
He hadn't had a ton of success here so far, but you get the feeling that he might be on the verge of popping one.
Yeah, even on that one, there was a little bit of a hole, but it closed there quickly at the end. Here's 2nd and 3. Graham now off the bootleg. This short pass into the hands of Njoku. It'll be a pickup of 4, good enough to earn him yet another first down.
That was a route run not just with dexterity, but with intelligence. Found the hole in the zone, made sure the quarterback saw him, and was able to make the sure catch and flip the down marker back to 1.
From the midfield stripe, they'll look to throw. Complete to Newsom. And this will leave him a yard short. Nice pickup of 9 yards on first down.
How about the timing on that one? Boy, they were in sync, weren't they? 3-step drop, balls out of his hands, right to the tight end. Nice completion, just like they do it in practice.
From the 41, this is 2nd and a yard. Now Graham. He'll leave it for Kelly, complete. And they'll be inside the 35 now at the 34-yard line. That one, a first down pickup of 8.
Well, they certainly had success throughout this contest, getting him the ball in the passing game, and there he picks up another first down. Whatever they saw going into this one, they've been able to capitalize on it, and no adjustment has been made to take it away.
They go play action with Graham. And this will be a dump off for Kelly. And he is out of bounds inside the 30. And that's good for a gain of 6, and it's 2nd down.
It appears they found something that's working, and they keep going back to it. I guess you can actually say he has the hot hands now, doesn't he?
Yeah, well, it's one thing to hit your guy out of the backfield once, hit him a couple times. Yeah, you're right. Maybe they're onto something.
And I think a lot of that is simply if you get it to him in space, more times than not, he's going to get more yardage than you expect out of each play.
And he'll take this down just shy of the 25-yard line. A minimal gain there on the 8th play of the drive.
Not too many offenses want to turn down long drives, but when you're down what they are, they've got to pay it off with some points.
Play number 9 set to come here on the drive on 3rd and 2. Out of the shotgun, Graham. Able to find the open man. That's complete. Touchdown, Browns. A great play there. 26 yards. And the Browns are able to cut into that deficit. And on that one, able to catch it. Also able to have the wherewithal to take it in for the score.
And how about the phases of a successful catch and a completion of a play? Look the ball in, secure the catch, and then, of course, the run after the catch that ends up in the end zone.
A try here for the extra point. It's up and good, so they claw back into it. 24-14 now. A good drive that time as they go 9 plays in all. And it's capped off by the Browns' touchdown. After the touchdown, it's Dawson on to kick it away. And he's up past the 20 to the 22-yard line. Houston set to take over. This now a 10-point game, so things tightening a little bit after that last score. Here's Schaub. Oh, the ball comes out on the hit, but they'll say it's incomplete.
His back has been a dependable safety valve all game, so he went back to him when his first read was covered. Just unable to connect, so the play results in no gain.
So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on first down. He'll drop to throw. He finds his man Johnson. And he'll be upended here after a pickup of 3, getting it out to the 25.
An ex-teammate used to tell me all the time, I hate experienced quarterbacks because no matter what, you really can't hide what you're doing. And I think that right there, he knew right away where the blitz was coming from, where his primary guy was going to be, and he ended up going to a secondary target for a nice game.
And he's taken down. This will be a Brown sack. It's J.O.K. Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah in there for the sack.
Even keeping the back end for extra protection on 3rd down, they still couldn't prevent the sack. Now it's 4th and long thanks to a terrific individual effort on defense.
The Texans send the punter out, standing right on his own 5-yard line. A 7-yard return following a punt of 45 yards.
And they will take over 1st and 10.
And now Cleveland geared up to take the field.
The last time out, they had to march almost the full length of the field for their touchdown. So here, much easier, Charles, with this better starting field position.
I love your sarcasm, but I love even more your observation because, look, what they did last time out, now with a shorter field, they should have a lot of confidence that they're going to put more points up on the board.
Now Graham on 1st down. Over the middle, complete. That's Collins. So the completion good for 7 there, and that'll make it 2nd down.
Well, if you do read man coverage, Brandon, the drag route's a pretty good one to run against it because you're running away from people on it.
2nd down and 3.
Graham will throw. It's a short one here, complete to his tight end. 2nd catch for him today, and it'll wind up a 1st down. The start for them near flawless. Defense gets him a 3 and out. 2 quick pass connections on offense.
So that's how a team works together. Just what you described. Get them the ball, give them a little momentum, and they're capitalizing off of that. Thanks a lot, guys.
On 1st and 10, it's Graham. It's a short one here, complete to the tight end. Call it a gain of 6 on the play, and it'll be 2nd down.
Not a big window to throw. Coverage wasn't too bad there.
Yeah, they had him under wraps pretty well, but somehow able to muscle his way open and catch the ball.
Here now, 2nd and 4.
Here's Graham to throw it. Got a man, and he hits him in stride. They call his number again. It's his 6th catch and a 1st down.
They really love to get him into one-on-one opportunities, and this is one way. Work him out of the slot and create a mismatch. Who's going to cover him? Corner, safety, linebacker? He's got a way to beat all of those positions.
So they'll come up 1st and 10 now from the 33. Graham going to set up to throw. Got his man complete over the middle. That's Kelly. Yeah, he'll work free from one tackle, but that's about all as he's taken down.
I think the best offenses love to get the ball to their running backs in open space because they have the ability to make people miss, and they also have the ability to run over people. And if you do that throughout the game, after a while, they might just run through some of those tackles and go a long way.
Well, we saw him shed a nice tackle on that play. Now a toss left side into the hands of his tight end. 7 catches for him now, and this last one, a 1st down.
And the tight end is certainly a position built to move the chains because they can control space underneath. If they've got good hands, then of course they're a dynamic target. But one other thing is they're right in the sight lines of a quarterback on just about every play. And that makes it easier for the quarterback to pick him out and deliver.
They try and run on 1st down, but this one going to lose a couple yards as they get him behind the line.
He's got exactly what you're looking for, the ability to not just diagnose a play and quickly, but to make a play as well. Nice job there tackling him for a loss.
So the 1st down run lost a couple. Now they come up 2nd and 12. Now Graham to throw. It's a short one here, complete to his tight end. 2 yards on the pickup there. And that brings up 3rd and a full 10 yards.
That was an okay hook up there with his tight end, but unfortunately, they didn't get the kind of yards they had hoped for. That's going to bring up 3rd down.
It's been a pretty long drive. This will be play number 9, and they need 10 yards out of it on 3rd. Now it's Graham. Work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. And the Browns are going to have 1st and goal as they try to finish off this drive with 6 points.
And this is an offense in need of getting a few good things to happen. Here's one right here. They've had their share of struggles in key moments, but that's a nice throw and nice work after the throw. And they're set up now with a 1st and goal.
1st and goal, and they got to be thinking a chance to get right back into this football game. Brown is not going anywhere. He'll be hit and dropped for no gain at the 2-yard line. Nothing on that one. It'll be 2nd down.
This is a critical sequence here for this offense. Things really haven't gone their way so far. This could be their chance to get back into it, but they've got to find a way to punch this ball in.
They try and run for it here with Brown. And I think they stopped him again. They did at the 1-yard line. No gain on the play that time as we have now reached the end of the 3rd quarter of play. So a little extra time to ponder this 3rd and goal as we played 3 quarters. This is the National Football League on EA Sports. 3rd down and goal now, and this Houston defense not backing down. They'll look for one more stop. They'll give it here to Brown. And this is going to depend on the spot, but I believe he might be a few inches short. It'll be called a gain of 2, and that'll leave him with some options here on 4th and inches.
Well, they certainly had success throwing the ball on this drive, and not as much running it as we just saw once again on that last play. Stopped after a very short gain. But I wouldn't abandon the run totally, because otherwise, pass rushers just tee off on your quarterback. Makes it very, very difficult for him in that situation.
So here we go. Maybe the biggest kick of the game forthcoming. From the left hash, he'll have to cut this at a tight angle. And his kick is right there. It's good, and this is back down to a 7-point game. All right, so they needed 2 scores to get back in the game. The field goal there, maybe not exactly what they wanted, but the necessary first step.
There's still time remaining, and there's enough time to get it done. They've got to get at the least a 3-and-out here to get the ball back, preferably a takeaway.
Now after the made field goal, here's Dawson back out now to send this one away on the kickoff. Taken at the goal line. And only able to get this to the 19, so probably should have opted for the touchback. Houston's offense taken over again. Their lead back down to one score after the field goal a moment ago, so they'll be looking to string together a few first downs, likely on the ground as they begin 1st and 10. Off the play fake, he'll look to throw. DeAndre Hopkins making the catch. And they're going to get this beyond the 40 before he's taken down. 23 yards on the play.
And these guys certainly are not hiding what their intention is. They're absolutely showing it. They're definitely not going to sit on this lead here in the 4th quarter.
One play has him up past the 40 already, and another 1st and 10. And that's complete. It's the tight end Daniels. So the completion good for 6 yards, and that's going to bring up 2nd down.
Well, it certainly feels like there are more stars at the tight end position than there were even 10 years ago. And I think it's become more of a glamour position because of the ways it can hurt a defense, and guys want to be involved. They can be in line, close to the line of scrimmage. They can split out like receivers. But hands, route running, speed, and some toughness to go across the middle, you put it all together, you got a heck of a tight end candidate.
87 yards rushing for him now as he has been tremendous all day long. At carries like that, that's how they're going to continue to salt this thing away here, Charles, in the 4th quarter.
Yeah, how about that? A new set of downs. Clock continues to move. No better way to close out a game than to tap those mastodons you have up front and say, guys, keep pounding them. Let's keep the ball, keep their offense on the sidelines, and let's close this one out.
On 1st down, he'll drop to throw. And he whips that one incomplete there.
They had their backs up against the wall a little bit, and they come through by forcing an incompletion. Now they've got to continue to ratchet up the intensity a couple of more times and get off the field before giving up any more yardage.
From the 34, they'll come to the line on 2nd and 10. From the shotgun, he'll look to throw. Caught left side, Hopkins. And he is out of bounds inside the 30. They get 6. That'll leave them with 3rd and 4. Here's a toss left to Foster. And he's going to get the 1st down here as he's taken down at the 22. Give him 6 yards, and they do convert on 3rd. No doubt those are the types of carries they're looking for here, Charles. The lead in the 4th quarter. This is when coaches that have a reliable running game, they breathe a little easier on the sideline.
Yeah, they love the idea that they can take the air out of the football at this point of the game. That means they're really counting on that offensive line, counting on the runners, taking care of the football. Because you're going to tell your quarterback, hey, no time to be a hero. We're not going to throw it here. Just eat up that clock. And if you have the ball, they can't score.
Run blitz there defensively, something we might see more of here in the 4th quarter.
I think we'll see a lot of it, and the difference between that and a pass blitz, you're just trying to get to the quarterback. You're trying to scheme someone open who will get to the QB and make sure he gets on the ground. In a run blitz, you're actually trying to cover up gaps, trying to cover up holes so they can't run the football.
Sets him up nicely. 1st and goal. It was a pickup of 14. Starting to feel a little to me like the air is coming out of the balloon, so to speak, defensively.
They're taking their will from them right now. That's what they're doing. Whatever they want to call, it's working. They're handling things up front. And it's not just the offensive line. It's everyone. You're seeing the guys on the perimeter blocking downfield and making sure that they're secure. So, yeah, you're exactly right. The air's out of the balloon, and right now they're almost lifeless.
They've called his number a lot this afternoon. You wonder how much tread is left on those tires.
We certainly do, but I always think back to one of my favorite coaches in the NFL. And he used to have a meeting with his running backs every year in the offseason and say, look, as many times as you're going to carry the ball, you should be able...
And he'll take this one in for a Texans touchdown. A 9-yard touchdown run. And the Texans have opened up a 2-touchdown lead here in this 4th quarter.
Sometimes you get a 1st and goal and you're back near the 7, 8, 9-yard line and you start thinking, maybe we'll run it here on 1st down to get half of what we need, so maybe we can have 2 or 3 shots at going for it from closer range. So this is a bonus right here. What a great run to work his way into the end zone.
Point after, right down the middle. And the lead now up to 14. So that drive goes a full 80 yards in 10 plays. And a 9-yard run on the end of it. Brown now to kick it away after the touchdown.
And a nice return sets him up pretty good here right at the 30-yard line.
The Browns offense trotting back onto the field. And last time they got 3 points, but it was a chip shot field goal. And when you go to the sideline after a chip shot field goal, maybe the offense not too happy.
It's a balancing act, isn't it? Because you're exactly right. They're none too pleased that they didn't punch it in for 6 points. But they also have to remember they did put points on the board.
3 points is 3 points.
And in this league, you take points when you can get them. Not easily done.
First down. Here's Graham. Over the middle, complete. It's Collins. This will be stopped about 2 yards shy of the marker. 8-yard gain, 2nd and 2. Fourth quarter, every drive's so critical, and you figure may only get one more shot after this, so a touchdown's imperative on this drive.
It is, but you also have to think to yourself in play calling, don't hold anything back. Don't save it for the second touchdown. You got the first one for the second one to even matter.
Looking for a seam, but finding none. He'll get back to the line of scrimmage, and that's it. He got maybe a half yard at most, but officially they'll be left with a 3rd and 2. And as a defensive end, getting off the ball quickly, swarming to the football, making a tackle, that's what we saw right there.
Yeah, that's what their job is, and really a lot of the time they have to throttle back a little bit in the run game because you know those defensive ends, they're like in a sprinter stance. They're just headed straight for the quarterback. That was good recognition on that play to hold him to no gain.
And he won't be close to a first down as he runs into a wall right around the line of scrimmage. And the trend continues here in the fourth like it was in the first, second, and third. He's had nowhere to run.
And you're probably thinking to yourself, why do they keep feeding him the football? Well, they trust him first and foremost. They do believe that over time he might actually pop one of these runs. But bottom line is he takes care of the ball well for them, so they'll keep handing it to him.
So they're forced to punt on fourth as this one's away. And a fair catch called for and made at the 12-yard line. So possession goes over here on the punt. And the Texans are going to have the football with a 1st and 10 deep in their own territory. Now Schaub. He gets this out to Foster on the right side. And just not a ton of room to work with. He'll get it to the 15 for a gain of 2.
I know it was a gain, but you have to sense probably a little bit of disappointment there because when it's out there in open space, I think they expect to get more out of a play, don't you?
Especially when you're getting it to your guy out of the backfield. You're expecting him to be able to create something, be a little more shifty.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Good open field tackling held it to an okay gain.
Now, meanwhile, here's a 2nd down throw that's knocked away and incomplete.
That was well played, but that was also an example of a corner who understands his coverage, realized he had support behind him, and could be a little more aggressive in the shorter zone, and did exactly that, knocking that pass away.
On 3rd down, he'll drop to throw. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. And this will be gathered up in the end zone. And that's a defensive touchdown. This defense, Charles, they needed some type of a spark to help get them back in this game. I think they just got their spark.
No doubt about it. And you know that's all they discussed. How can we get ourselves moving again? How can we get our team going? This definitely qualifies.
Now the try here for the extra point. they'll cut the lead down now to a touchdown. So not only the cough up, but then the pickup on the other side, the scoop, and the score the other way, the fumble return for a touchdown. So here's the kickoff now as they'll get it again following that fumble return for a score. Oh, a good return up past the 30. And a good return, able to get out across the 35 to the 36. Out comes the Houston offense as they get set to take over here. They'll be looking to make amends for the events of a moment ago. A fumble return for 6 points.
You absolutely have to protect the football. That's got to be priority number one because margin for error is starting to slip away. And now it's down to a one-score game.
Good starting field position for the Houston Texans here as they come up 1st and 10 at their 36-yard line. They'll try and start this drive in the air. The hook up on the right side to Hopkins. And he has a big gain inside the 40 before being dropped. Call that a very strong gain of 24.
Well, it may seem a little unorthodox to some people. Got the lead, 4th quarter, yet he's still firing away. I think he believes that's the best way to go ahead and win the game.
Yeah, a lot of coaches say, let's just run the football and be conservative. He's sticking to his game plan.
No, that is his game, and that's what they're going to ride.
So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. They'll look to throw. And Daniels has it over the middle.
And he's able to break out of one tackle, but then quickly brought down.
So give him 2 yards there on the completion, and it's 2nd down.
I know exactly what's going to be said about that play from the defensive perspective.
What's that?
That's why I tell all you guys we need more than one tackler to the ball. He broke the first tackle. Luckily enough, there were more people there to get him down.
Now look at this. They get the turnover they needed. It's intercepted.
And the Browns are right back in this football game.
A critical error there in a tight game of the 4th.
All you talk about is taking care of the football, and especially with a lead here in the 4th quarter, turning it over, now the door is open for the opposition.
Just in general, when you're passing in the 4th quarter with a lead, no matter at what point, you got to be super careful.
Got to be careful, and sometimes you can be so careful that you end up running yourself into an error.
They'll throw on 1st down with Graham. Complete to Newsom. And he's going to get a solid gain of 9 before being brought down. 2nd and right at a yard. Well, that tight end position, it just seems to continue to evolve every year in the NFL.
Yeah, you're getting really terrific athletes. A lot of them maybe were wide receivers at one point. They continue to give you speed, great hands, and big bodies, which make them excellent targets for quarterbacks.
Throwing again on 2nd down, but this time it's incomplete.
I think he could have scanned downfield forever, but there wasn't anything available. Ends up throwing an incompletion, and I think he'll take that.
The Browns on 3rd down. They've converted 5 times in their many chances thus far. They're up against a 3rd and 1 situation. Now Graham. Pass taken in by his big tight end. And he'll be out of bounds up near the 45 at the 44. A 3rd down gain of 3 yards, and that'll be enough.
Oftentimes we think of those tough yards as grinding yards that a running back has to pick up. How about the tight end there picking up the 1st down in that situation?
That's what he's there for, right?
Big fella, get it to him, let him fight off some people and pick up the necessary yardage. Again,
it's Graham.
He'll look underneath and finds Brown. His second catch, this one not quite as dynamic as his first, and it's second down.
Well, offensively, that's the mismatch that you want. You want to force a linebacker to try and cover your back out of the backfield, out in some open space. But linebackers nowadays, they run like backs, and they take a lot of pride in covering. What a nice play he made there in the open field.
The crowd's not doing that O-line any favors.
Home field advantage is really kicking in, making it very difficult for them to hear the snap count.
And that false start penalty is certainly not helping their cause here. Second down and long. They'll stick with the passing game as he looks to throw. He's going to loft one deep left side here. And this is taken in at the 5. That'll put him at 77 yards receiving for the ball game. It's a first down.
Well, this game has certainly had no shortage of offense. Both teams have been revved up from the start. And here's yet another big play. Boy, both defenses have just got to be dragging out there because they've been run ragged throughout.
A looming decision to make on the conversion, down 7, but first things first, they need to score as they come up on first and goal. Kelly is into the end zone for a Browns touchdown. We are set up for a fantastic finish now. A fourth quarter touchdown here. We're an extra point away from a tie football game.
And I know they're thinking about possibly going for 2, but I'd go ahead and kick this one and just get it back to level.
Now the extra point try forthcoming. And we are tied here in the fourth quarter. That time a 6-play drive. And it results in a 4-yard touchdown run. Now this one setting up for a great finish. All tied in the fourth as the kick's away. And the tackle going to be made right there at the 25-yard line. And now out comes Houston. They no longer have the lead after that last touchdown. All tied up in the fourth quarter. And a chance for this offense to mount a potential game-winning drive right here. Trying to shake off the interception. He'll look to throw. So the completion good for just 3. And it'll be second down. They like going to him in the slot. He catches another one.
I think this comes under the heading of until they stop him, why not go back to him? He has something going really well. Great working relationship with the guy throwing the ball, and they keep making the connection.
Here's Schaub. That's caught. Fedorowicz. And he'll be out of bounds across the 30-yard line.
And there's a completion to the tight end. And look at the size of these players nowadays. At that spot, 6'4", 6'5", and up. A lot of guys used to be basketball players, somehow came back to football. And that's really good for the game of football. You're getting better athleticism, great hand-eye coordination, guys who know how to control their bodies when they run their routes.
Now back to throw. Able to find the open man. That's complete. And he is going to have a Texans first down. They needed 3. He doubled that. He got 6.
I got a kick out of that one, partner. You and I talk often about trying to hide receivers in certain situations. But a guy of his size can't really hide him. But the tight end drag route, definitely an effective way to sneak him across the formation for an easy completion and a first down.
Plenty of time. All 3 timeouts still remain. Here's 1st and 10 now.
A throw there, but that's going to wind up incomplete.
And a smart play there. He's probably saying, I wish I would have done that on the last drive instead of throwing the interception.
Another try, 2nd and 10 now.
Back to throw again. And he's just going to get rid of this thing. To no one here. He throws it away. And now it's 3rd. 3rd and long coming up. Defensively, you pressure the quarterback or drape all over the passing lane?
Yes, that's exactly what you do. It's both because they're not mutually exclusive. They may have been at one time in football, but not anymore. You want to have that pressure. And if you have a big-time pass rusher, send him after the quarterback and then make sure you blanket the field.
And he can't get a throw away. He's taken down. Now the Browns will use the first of their 3 timeouts as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. The Texans send the punter out as he'll come on to kick this one away. We'll call that a punt of 54 yards. Well struck. And the Browns will take over 1st and 10. Heading out as the Cleveland offense now as they get set to take over here.
This drive here beginning probably with a pair of motivated groups. Remember, the offense scored a touchdown on their last time out. Looking to repeat that in Charles's defense. They were very frustrated after giving up 6 the last time on the field.
And frankly, it's just a battle of wills in a lot of ways because you know they're both motivated. They both game plan for this drive, and they both have specific outcomes in mind. To me, it just comes down to who can execute better and which side can step up and assert its will over the other.
And they picked up a little bit of yardage there, and now, in this situation, should be in no hurry to run a play really fast. Let the clock wind down.
They'll come up now on 2nd down.
Now it's Graham. This will be caught by Brown. And he'll be out of bounds at the 25-yard line.
With all the success they've had throwing the football as a pass rusher, you know you've got to come hard when you see him drop back to throw. So I really like this call to counteract that pass rush with a screen. It turns into positive yardage. A lot of times the offense says, just replace the rusher with the ball, and it turns into a good play.
Graham will throw. Completes to Njoku. And he is going to have a Browns 1st down, I do believe. Yes, he's got it by about a yard there on 3rd and 3. Two timeouts still available in this final minute. It's 1st and 10 now.
Graham going to look to throw again.
Right back to Njoku.
Now the Browns signal for the 2nd of their timeouts as they'll stop it with a little over 30 ticks to go in the football game.
Second down, 8 yards to go.
Here's Graham to throw it. And he's got his big tight end over the middle, complete.
All right, they picked up yardage, but they've got to get up to the line of scrimmage and spike it. They've got one timeout left, want to save it.
Now Graham on 1st down.
Throwing quickly there, but it's incomplete.
Final whistle blows, and we need some extra time here to decide who will be the victor.
60 minutes, just not enough some days to decide who's going to win the game.
So it's the Browns who are going to get possession first here in overtime as the kick's away. Taking it about the 1. And a nice job there on special teams to limit him to inside the 15 as he's dropped at the 14. Cleveland offense making their way out. They defer to Brown to start the drive. And not much to speak of. Call it a 1-yard gain up to the 15. Short gain there to start overtime.
Almost a tester play, wasn't it? Wanted to see if the guys on defense were going to fit the gaps the correct way, because we're in overtime. So it's not just physical tiredness out there, right? Mentally, are you still doing what you're supposed to do? And they were up to the task on that play.
And certainly fatigue on both sides of the football. Another run for Brown on 2nd down.
And not much there at all. He's up only to about the 16-yard line.
2 runs in a row, but only 2 yards to show for it.
Back-to-back runs, I'd say that encompassed maximum effort for minimal gain.
Minimal yardage, and now they're going to need something more than minimal on this play coming up. 3rd and 8 situation. A tough spot here in overtime on the opening drive. Now a first throw here in overtime. Got a man. It's Brown. And he's going to be stopped well short of what he needed as the tackle is made at the 18-yard line. That's going to bring up 4th down. Only a gain of 2 there. The temptation to go for it probably there. Always is, especially in overtime. Got to punt it, though.
I think you're right. I think that you absolutely have to punt it away and trust your defense, especially play a little field position here. But you're so right about the temptation. Another way to satisfy that, though, line up in punt formation and fake it. That's another way to get it done.
So a change of possession here on the punt. And the Texans will take over with a 1st and 10. They'll start on the ground with Foster. And he'll work this one up to about the 38. 122 yards rushing for him now as his sensational afternoon continues. Decided to hand it off that time on the run-pass option.
Appeared to be an easy decision. Just gave it inside. Nice steady gain.
From the 38 now, here's 2nd and 3. Now Shaw. Oh, and it's intercepted. And they'll take over inside the 45 at the 44-yard line. Both offenses sputtering a little bit here in overtime, Charles, but give credit to the defenses and certainly credit to them on that last play. That is a huge interception.
I will absolutely do that. They deserve the credit because they forced a punt on the opening drive of overtime. You know no one wants to give up the ball in OT. And now you have them back out there knowing that it only takes a field goal to win this game. Big-time defensive plays being made.
On 1st and 10, here's Brown. Able to slither by. And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20. 25 yards the pickup there, and also a 1st down. Got to give a nod of appreciation to some of those guys up front over on that left side. Several key blocks sprung him.
No appreciation for the guys from the backside that didn't allow any leakage, anybody can run him down from the backside.
They're at the kids' table.
Okay, so front side guys, good.
Yeah.
Backside guys,
meh.
That's what you're supposed to do?
I've had better.
Okay, either way, worked out quite well, didn't it? A nice sizable gain.
It's showtime, baby.
And now it all rests on the right foot of their kicker. This to win it in overtime. And he got it. The kick is good in overtime.
he's able to split the uprights. And it's pandemonium in the dog pound as the Browns are going to win the football game. So as it turns out, a two-play drive resulting in the field goal.
That was an excellent come-from-behind victory, Charles, especially there in the fourth quarter. Both offense and defense were clicking. They're going to feel good about this one.
Boy, are they ever, because the deficit they faced certainly wasn't small. They obviously did not give up on that one, and in the end, how about that come-from-behind victory? They'll cherish this one for a while.
So that's a wrap for Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gunn, and this has been a presentation of the NFL on EA Sports. For more, check us out at easports.com. So long from Houston.